What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival. And Netflix released a movie called The Gray Man this weekend. And they thought it was going to be a big blockbuster. And ultimately, it crashed and burned, even though I had these two big name actors, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. The movie flopped. And I think, they've been really hyping this movie up and they thought it was going to do well. But they're bleeding out due to the constant woke agenda, and people just aren't having it anymore. I mean, it's Gray Man Review, Netflix's attempt blockbuster, has all the ingredients for a summer hit, but sadly it fizzled. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't watch the film, but I heard it was bad. So, but I'm talking about The Gray Man. This is something I used to cover pretty extensively early days of Black Scout. And I thought I'd go over the principles tonight and talk about this. And essentially, it's a form of tradecraft. You got field craft where you're out in the field. That could be patrolling, that could be survival techniques, things like that, camouflage, stuff like that. And you got tradecraft, things that spies use, things that you use in urban areas for a lot of different things, a lot of different skill sets that go into tradecraft. And so I thought it'd be a good refresher or something to go over. I know a lot of people don't have the, they're too lazy to go look at old videos. So I thought we would talk about this because I do think it's an important subject. I think it's something important for you to know, especially in the world we live in today. You never know what tomorrow brings. So the gray man or woman is a person that can essentially blend into a crowd and be easily overlooked, unnoticed, and forgotten. It's used for personal protection, and it will allow you to move freely in otherwise difficult surroundings. And so it's basically a method of urban camouflage and disguise that can be, used without additional props like wigs and such like that. So there's many different situations that you may need to be a gray man or woman. And you may not want to draw attention to yourself, i.e. a crisis or survival situation. There's a lot of misconceptions about gray man. I see people write articles, do videos on it, and they say things. They think it's like just not being non-tactical looking, which is so far from the truth. I mean, there is some truth to that. Obviously, not a little tactical looking, but there's so much more to it. The gray man is essentially an individual that can disappear into a crowd and move around unnoticed. This would, include not engaging in conversation, talking to people, making eye contact, stopping someone. Like if they dropped a pin, you don't stop and pick it up. You create no stimulus, right? And that's the main objective, not to create stimulus to those around you. So not being rememberable. So creating stimulus is having anything on your movement that will stand out, that somebody may remember you. Okay. Imagine walking by and nodding your head at someone. And we're going to go into clothing and stuff like that, but just giving off something, that is going to remind them of you, having a sick tattoo, something like that, that's going to stand out, and that, you'll notice the next time you go to a store or restaurant, there are people there that you don't notice at all. Like if you remember back and you can remember a few people there's people there in that environment that create a stimulus in your mind and you remember them. But there's a lot of people, gray men and women, that were walking around that you couldn't recall at all. They're non-threatening, completely average in every way. That is the gray man. So how do we do this? Oh, Mark Fellows, thank you, sir. That beard makes you like the gray man. Yeah, it's definitely, the gray is definitely tuning up there. So how do we do this? Well, we refrain from wearing any sort of logos, be it NRA being the company you work for, athletic teams, and so on. Go sanitize. Sanitize is a military term for being completely free of any identifying materials on your clothing or gear, even down to the labels. The various operatives will rip their labels out depending on what country they're operating in, and let's say they're not supposed to be there. For example, if you're wearing, let's say, a Miami Dolphins hat, and someone may also be a fan of Miami Dolphins, you're waiting in line and they notice you, it creates stimulus, and they could even strike up a conversation with you, which is a worst case scenario failure, right? So that's why I'm so against wearing sports teams or logos or anything that has logos, brand names and stuff like that. People will say, well, everybody's wears logos. Well, that's true, but that does not mean that that makes you a gray man to do everything everybody else is doing. We're gonna get more into depth in that. But the fact of the matter is, let's say that you really like, let's think of a brand. Uh, Only thing that comes to mind, North Face. Let's say you're a fan of North, or someone's a fan of North Face, and you're wearing one, and they like it a lot, and they recognize you. That person, you create a stimulus in their mind. But if you don't have anything, any kind of markings that could create stimulus, um, best case scenario. So the gray man is just not blending in. People say that all the time. You can blend in and still create stimulus. Let's say, for example, you go to a baseball game and everybody's wearing baseball jerseys, right? And so you wear one too to quote unquote blend in, but you're still not a gray man because you could create stimulus, right? Being gray man is mean it's completely unnoticed. Going to, let's say, SHOT Show where everybody's wearing 511, the 511 tuxedo, and you go wearing tactical gear there as well, you may still create stimulus, right? You have to be average, basic in every way. George Costanza, you know, think about tattoos. This is a great example of that. People will say, oh, they're more acceptable now. You can have tattoos and still blend in. Well, and everybody has them. But for one, I notice tattoos. I have tattoos, so I notice tattoos. I look at tattoos and I'll see what kind of tattoos people have, and it'll stick in my mind. Maybe someone likes the particular brand you're wearing. Let's say you're wearing a Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, and they remember you for that, right? So these are the things you have to think about. Think about if you were on the run, how many details could someone give the police about you, right? Oh, yeah, he had a beard. He was wearing combat boots. He had on a Polo Ralph Lauren shirt. He had a Miami Dolphins hat on. You know what I'm saying? So these sort of things. He had a full sleeve tattoo. These sort of things will give you away, right? Clothing needs to be a classic conservative look. Jeans, khakis, stay away from 511s, cargo pants, pocket styles. Wearing basic polos, t-shirts, and button downs in neutral grays, navy blues, and earth tones. Nothing that's bright or exotic looking. Um, and basically, you want a classic look because that's something that never goes out of style, and it's also not very like completely in style. Um, don't wear anything that's the latest fashion. Don't wear Yeezys. People are going to see the Yeezys. It doesn't matter if everybody's wearing Yeezys; they're going to see your Yeezys, right? Um, it may be loud, and people may be interested in it. Stay away from all tactical gear, especially tactical footwear. People notice footwear, especially women. People notice watches as well. That's two things that will give you away. Your footwear and your watch. People will notice tremendously. Go to any kind of military base, and you'll see out in town everybody has like a G-Shock on or some kind of smartwatch. So they're military, or look, and they're wearing some kind of military footwear. Daniel Briley, thank you. Love your interview with Jenna. Thanks, man. Glad you liked it. Mark Fallows. The alpha personality is difficult to conceal. Confidence comes through. That's absolutely correct as well. So there's something called a capsule wardrobe in the men's fashion community. Well, I think it's in women's too, but the capsule wardrobe is essentially the idea is that you get rid of like the majority of your clothes because everybody has closets full of clothes they don't wear, they don't need. You get down to classic basic items that can interchange. What's great for packing, so you can you can carry 4 or 5 pieces and you have 10, 15 different outfits, right? But the thing is that what I like about the capsule wardrobe is because they're classic pieces that can blend in about every environment. You can make this work in every environment. So if you're traveling to an area and you don't have time to go get something, you have stuff there that can blend in every environment, whether all the way from wearing t-shirt, shorts, or stuff like that, t-shirt, jeans, all the way up to wearing some kind of you know nicer attire that if you need to go to a formal dinner or something like that, so you can dress informal, casual to a more formal setting. And that goes into dressing for the occasion. If you're going to a formal dinner, dress formal. If you're going to an informal place, make sure you dress informal. Don't go overdressed or underdressed as key indicators, right? Dress for the season you're in. Do not wear a jacket in summertime. If you remember, we did a video the other day about it was summertime at the pumps, and the dudes got robbed by guys in hoodies in July, right? Doesn't make sense. Those guys didn't blend in. That should have been a key trigger. They were up to no good. Um, do not make eye contact, right? And you can kind of keep your head down, look away. Wear sunglasses is a great method, to conceal your eyes. Walk around with sunglasses and just you can just follow the baseline. We'll talk about baseline here in a second, but stay away from fashionable hairstyles, mohawks, purple hair like the liberals do, pink and purple and stuff like that. Um, it doesn't matter if you have the best gray men attire on; it's not going to work for you if you have wild hairdos. Ladies, a lot of ladies ask this question: how they be a gray woman? It's very difficult for a woman to be a gray woman. It's very difficult for women to blend in. There's a lot of dudes out there like to look at chicks, and the fact of the matter is that you need to avoid revealing clothing that may draw attention. Right, Mike? You thanks, man. Great show on Friday. Appreciate it, buddy. We can talk about that towards the end too. Um, Ladies, also men, cologne, perfume. Be careful of that. That's something that can draw stimulus, right? You've been around someone and smell, you're behind them in line or something at the cash register. You smell them. That creates stimulus. You pay attention to them. Um, Also remember not to look threatening. Don't walk around, with like Mark Fowler just said, with the confidence rated, like a lion that got out of the cage. But for some people, being a gray man is completely impossible. If you're 7 foot tall, you're always going to create stimulus unless you cut your legs off. If you're really overweight, if you're overly muscled physique, you will most likely be remembered. There's certain ways where a little bit, looser clothing to help hide it, but it's still going to be difficult because you're going to look big. Um, if you have like, unchangeable features, scars, birthmarks, etc., it may also be difficult to conceal these things. You can use makeup and things like that, maybe cover it with clothing, but a lot of things may stick out that you just will not be able to change. Stealth, and that's what we're talking about, being stealthy is about being able to get in and out of a place. And that's without getting noticed, recognized, or remembered. And this goes for in the woods or in the town. It doesn't matter. That's what stealth is. It is not about being invisible. Sometimes being seen is key to going unnoticed. You know, talk about baseline, how to move through a crowd unnoticed. You can walk at the same speed as the majority of the crowd. Don't run unless everyone else is running. Move calmly as if you know where you are going, even if you do not, right? So, if someone's chasing you, just kind of walk slowly in the pace of everyone else. Don't be looking back because they're going to see your head turn back. Just keep looking forward. You may have to, get rid of your jacket or something to change the color of your upper body. These sort of things. Maybe put on a hat, take off a hat. These sort of things, right? But move calmly. Don't panic, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Okay. And if you need to go in a different direction, slowly work your way through the crowd in the direction you want to go instead of cutting sharp angles. So if you're wanting to go over in this area, you're just kind of go through the crowd moving this way versus going like this and then cutting a sharp angle because it's going to create stimuli. If someone's gazing into a crowd and they're looking, they see this guy going like this very fast, you're going to create stimuli. So you need to move slowly, just like everybody else, not looking back. Don't look back, and just keep going. Nelson, thanks, buddy. Here in San Francisco Bay, crooks are marking vehicles in the parking lots. They will see families that look well off and write something, for example, dirty windshield, to tell others to get that one. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can see that's definitely a good technique. Mark it for your buddies. Mark, thanks, man. Be cool like the Fonz. That's right. Nomad Prepper's got a good point here. He said wear a work shirt and a safety vest. That's not being gray, man. That's actually wearing a disguise, and that's there's a couple different types of disguise, and that is one of them. Wearing workwear is a great type of disguise because it gives you a false sense of authority. So if you got a hat on, hard hat on, a vest on, you can walk into a building. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. You got a tool bag. They're going to think you're working. They're not going to pay you any attention. You can pretty much go wherever you want to go. That's different than being a gray man. And then you have disguise. A lot of people think, you're disguising like where you're, up to close scrutiny. That the fact of the matter, most disguisers are at like 20 foot or beyond is what you want to be able to fool someone at. Close scrutiny stuff is very difficult to do unless you're like a makeup artist or something like that. But yeah, dressing as a homeless person and as a worker, like some kind of figure of authority, or you know, maintenance worker or something like that will get you in and out of pretty much anywhere you want to go. You go in a hospital, throwing a lab coat and a stethoscope around, you can pretty much walk around. Um, but the best way to learn to be a gray man is to people watch, to go to a place and just look around and look at how people react and interact, and then pay attention who you don't pay attention to, and then write down what are those things that made you totally, they totally just passed your mind, right? So that's a good way to look at these sort of things. But I wanted to cover this stuff because I know that a lot of people, don't go back and watch old videos, And it was funny because on the podcast I was on the other day with Nutrient Survival, they were asking me like, I talk about being a gray man, but I can't be a gray man because I have 600,000 followers. And I mean, it's true. I told them I'm the martyr. Like it's hard to be a gray man when you have a following. It would be hard for me to be a gray man anyway. I'm tall and bigger guy, and I get noticed places because. So it's funny. It's a grocery store that I go to all the time. I was going in there, and this dude, said something to me one day that worked there, the manager. And then the next time I go, he said something to me again. And then the next time I go, he says something. I'm like, man, I told my wife, I said, something's going on with this guy. Anyway, I had to go return something the other day, and the girl was helping me, but he was sending me a sign. He's like looking at me, he said, what's going on, man? This ain't your normal day. You come in here. This dude totally has me pegged, right? I mean, and so I tell him, I was like, that's funny. I was like, I always wondered, if people would recognize me. And they said, oh yeah, we recognize you, And so she did too. So, everybody recognized me. So I'm not a good gray man. Could I employ the techniques to help uh, decrease stimulus? Yes, of course. But could I be a true gray man? Probably not, right? There's just some of us out there that won't be able to be true gray man. Maybe the way we walk, like Mark Fallow said, the stature we have, the confidence we have, or you have a lot of followers on the internet. It's difficult. I mean, I get recognized places. People want to take photos with me. So it's difficult for me to be one. But I'm the martyr, so I can help teach you guys, right? This is something you can employ. If you're, you never know what tomorrow holds. You never know what type of situation. You may have some madman trying to kill you. You don't know, right? We could all become criminals tomorrow. Who knows what the world holds? But knowing these techniques, knowing these strategies, and practicing them and observing them and being observant to what's around you will help you in the case that you ever are in a situation where you have to disappear in plain sight. I do hope you guys will try this week. Let me know in the comments and practice it. So yeah, we did talk about the video we did the other day. We did a video with Jenna Lee. She was a Fox News journalist, so she was a host of a show, and she was basically talking about the ins and outs of media. Why she got out of it? She got out of it because of bias. She said that like news stopped being news. It's a good video. If you didn't watch it, I definitely recommend you going to go watch it. And I plan to have more people like that with various different backgrounds. Like we had Hogan Gidley, the former White House deputy press secretary, which is a good insider as well. So I'm trying to get people from not the same kind of group I'm involved in, which I don't really like none of these guys that I'm in the group with anyway. But I see people comment their names. I can't stand these. We don't like each other, and you comment their names. Go comment my name on their post and see what they say about that we don't like each other. But I'm trying to get people from various degrees of or different occupations. Sean, thanks, buddy. Different groups, so different intel, right? And so if you have anybody that you would like to see on here, let me know. Let me know who you would like to see on here. Also may try to get some people on here to debate, some people of rivaling ideology. So if you know someone like that has some kind of following, please let me know in the comments too, because I would love to bring someone on here to debate on rivaling ideology. But yeah, check out that video though. If you didn't know, Jenna is married to Leif Babin, who is a former Navy SEAL that was with Jocko. Him and Jocko served together. So, just interesting tidbit as well. Robert's asking if you're a handicapped man, can you be a great man? No, no, you stimulus, buddy. It'd be like having a face tattoo. Those are the type of things I'm talking about. That if you just can't get around. But Robert, I can't really be one either, man. So yeah, not Tatum. Someone's asking me for more Christian content. Let me know what kind of Christian content you would like to see. Yeah, sure, I'd be fine doing it. Sean M, I don't know what Red Dawn Radio is, man. If you could, once the video drops, you could put the stuff in the info for me. Hey, people that's not in the survival tactical prepper community, because you may say somebody that we really can't stand each other, and then I block you because I don't like them. They don't like me. Be careful of those guys. Don't mention them. He's done mention when you're getting blocked, buddy. Let me go ahead and block you. Don't mention the people in this community. We don't like each other. Yeah, just comment on what kind of Christian content. Yeah, be extra boring if you can't be a gray man. Listen, if you're a gray man, you're not getting chicks. You know what I mean? If you're a single guy, you're gonna stay single, right? It's not something I want to say you want to, employ on a life day-to-day basis, right? It's not something you want to do. We've already had heavy duty country here. Russell Crowe. You got to connect for Russell Crowe. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys comment the video. Kyle Rittenhouse. You probably got to pay Kyle Rittenhouse at this point to be on your stuff. Officer Potato. I do like that name. That's what we're gonna start calling him, Officer Potato. He's still relentlessly doing it, defending those guys, even with all the overwhelming evidence. All right, guys. Yeah, smash that like button for me. Put in the comments below who you'd like me to see if we can get on here, or let me know. And yeah, Joe Rogan. I doubt it. Yeah, we'll probably have Patriot Nurse. She's already came to mind. Patriot Nurse is a friend of mine. We've been friends for a few years, and she's it was funny though. Like Patriot Nurse was literally like famous in YouTube before I even got started. I was at a convention. She was like the main speaker of the. There was like 8,000 people there. She's like the main speaker at the convention. It's funny. So yeah, I would love to go on Alex Jones' show. I would love to go on there. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to hold you up anymore. I do appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. And please make sure you comment once the video posts. That helps the algo tremendously. You helped me a lot last week. And I got hit for a video last week. So if you could do that for me to help me, because I'm sure I got the shadow ban again. So please go do that for me because I got hit for the video for Thursday. It's age restricted, and that's obviously not good. They put you back in the shadow ban realm. So if you could go do that for me, hit the like and go comment on the video and just put out some names of some people out there that we could obviously could be a possibility. GOTLS. It's a Christian I spread good cheer and have merry heart and try to be light in dark places. It's kind of hard being a gray man. Yeah, man. I hear you. All right, guys. Good night. Hope you have a good week. Stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Take care.